Well, hello. I've been a realtor for a few years now, and I think one of the most important things to focus on is understanding where somebody is at in their life. There's a lot of different stages we go through. There's different chapters of our lives where big changes happen, and those big changes, they can be hard, and you need somebody that understands how to take care of your needs during those different stages and those different chapters. With my background in lending, in real estate, in construction, and understanding different costs of these needs and these things, it's brought me to a point where I have the ability to create a huge difference in people's lives. It's very valuable. And that value, it would be an honor to be able to bring that value to you in your lives, to make that difference in your transition from maybe a family home that you've been in for many years to a home that would fit your needs more perfectly. Or even if your family home needs some adjustments, I'd be happy to come and set you up with my network of contractors and professionals that would bring you that value. Hello, Adam.
Hi, Jaren.
How are you?
Not bad.
Excellent. So we're here today to talk a little bit about our services that we can provide to those that are going through a transition later in their lives. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
Yeah, I'm Adam Stephensen. I'm with Dwell Mortgage. I've been a loan officer for quite some time now. The biggest thing for me is I want to make sure that people are taken care of. I know that as they're transitioning, as you were saying, to retirement or towards, in most cases, less income. I want to make sure that they have an ideal spot for their budgets when it comes to paying a mortgage, or if they would like reverse mortgages, which would then provide them with income without a house payment as well.
You know, last few years, Adam, I'd like to touch on this real quick. Reverse mortgages kind of had a bad rap.
Definitely.
What's changed?
So the biggest thing is regulations. So before you probably heard terms predatory lending and things like that, where people took advantage of situations, even took advantage of elderlies, and it was more so because they had they looked at homes that had a lot of equity, and they're like, I can get a loan from there. They didn't necessarily need it, and so it essentially stripped them of whatever income or anything they
Or
could pass
equity.
on to equity they could pass on to their posterity.
Right.
Unfortunately, there were people who didn't have their best interest in heart.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, is finding professionals that they have your best interests in mind before their own. And that is something that I do pride myself on. I work hard to make sure my clients' interests are put much before my own, and I believe you do the same.
Absolutely. Every time I meet with someone, I make sure that they have a plan. I make sure that not only do I tell them what their monthly payment could potentially be, but I ask them what they could afford or what they feel most comfortable with. If it's something that they can't do at this time, I make sure that we have a roadmap as to how they can achieve that.
That's what I like to hear. That's why we work together, Adam. We're here to talk to you about some important options that can help you in your transition from maybe the family home that you've been in for a long time to someplace that fits your needs much better. Alan, will you introduce yourself?
Sure, thanks, Jaren. I'm Alan Blood. I'm with CFG Home Loans. I'm the lending manager and have the privilege of working with Jaren and working with a lot of seniors here in Utah and throughout the area as they look at where they're going to do for financing and just trying to find the right thing to do when they're ready to right-size from their home and move out of their family home and move into something that might be more conducive to what they want their retirement to look like.
I like that, right size.
Yeah, right size. We're not downsizing anymore.
Yeah, we're right size.
And for some people, they're not. I find some people are maybe adding some square footage, or they want a basement for the kids or the grandkids, or they want a mother-in-law apartment or maybe a potential rental piece. And so everybody's situation is a little different, but usually it's going to be different than what they've been used to with their family home.
Oh, 100%. You know, I have my grandparents-in-law. I just helped them purchase a home recently, and they moved from a home with a lot of steps, and that was hard for them. And so I was able to find them a beautiful, newer home in a great neighborhood, and it was single level, not one step on the property.
The single level living.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
When I talk to clients that are looking to see what they're going to do, and obviously in the financing side, we just talk a little bit about the house they're buying, but that's one question we always ask: is how important is it that you have single level living, even and not even when you're retired, when you're, if you're heading into your 50s. I'm heading into my 50s.
Right.
I don't want to be going up and down stairs every single day to go everywhere I go. It's funny though, I have other clients who say, boy, I need the stairs, because that's my exercise. I got to go up and down the stairs, otherwise I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, 100%, no doubt.
Which goes back to the same point, is everybody's situation is different and unique.
Right, and meeting those needs and helping people fit right size, like you said. If we can get them into the right size of home, that's going to be a big deal for them. And also having understanding and compassion in the situation, because if you think about it, these people they've raised their children in this home. And right sizing can be difficult. That can be tough, having to move from somewhere where you have a lot of emotional ties.
That's a big emotional trigger, I think, for a lot of people. It's a big decision to do that.
That's why I feel like it's important to have people who understand the situation, who can have compassion in those circumstances, be there to guide them through those steps, and ensure that they make good decisions that will lead them through their retirement.
Well, and you do a great job with that. When I've seen as you're working with clients, and we've had the opportunity to work together, just helping people understand what their options are, and that there are choices, and that they need to make them. I mean, it's not your choice what a client's going to do, just helping to guide them though towards that. On the financing thing, one thing I found too along that is when you said having compassion, having the right people. Most people, as they're heading towards retirement or they're in retirement, the roles reverse with some of their kids. And now they might have an adult child, or maybe it's a close friend or a financial advisor who's really part of their financial decision-making process, or a CPA. And sometimes it's all the same person. Right. And bringing that person in, that stakeholder in, to see what they're doing and to help them understand that it's okay. When I talk to a lot of senior clients and they're talking about what they're going to do for their financing, they feel a real sense of obligation to their children. Because they want, those that have kids or have heirs, they really want to be able to provide something for them in the form of a legacy, and they feel like that's got to be financial. And so I find it's really useful to say, well, who are you going to go to for your decision making, and ask them, who is it you're going to talk to? Is it going to be your son or your daughter, or your neighbor or your friend, or your pastor or your church leader or your bishop or whoever it may be? And let's bring those people into the conversation to help make the right decision up front.
Because it's a family affair, if we're being honest. We understand that there's more people in the decision-making process than not. Now, at the end of the day, it is these people's money, and it is their retirement. So I think that's important to note, but there are different priorities, and it's not a one-size-fits-all. This can be a good solution, but there are other products and there are other services that we provide that may fit their situation better. And I like what you said, that we are here to ensure that they are put into the best situation for them. Their needs, their interests come first. And I think that's why we work together, because we have that same idea in mind.
Some people, their goal is to pay all their house off, and so they want a 10-year loan or a 15-year loan because they're getting close to retirement, and so they want to have a 10-year loan or a 15-year loan to get it paid off. Other people say, I want the lowest possible payment, and so I want a 30-year loan. Because, and other people, they're saying, I want a reverse mortgage. I don't want a payment at all. Right. And so everybody has their different ideas or goals, and we try to make sure that we tailor-make each individual product or loan to fit their needs.
Yeah, and that's very valuable, I think, because, like we said, one size doesn't fit all. So we are here to ensure that our clients' needs, their specific circumstances, all taken into account as we're fitting them into the best product, the best home. Your job, best product; me, the best home. Options, and that's what we do. And what I appreciate too, it seems like there's been times where I go into somebody's home and I see that maybe they shouldn't move. And that's hard because neither of us would get a paycheck in that circumstance. But honestly, I think that's what's best. We see that, if I go into their home and I see that, hey, we can just take out your tub and put in just a stall shower. We can install grab bars. We can install you a laundry room on your main level and give you one level living where you're at. And that
great solution.
Yeah, and then I'm able to refer contractors, and it saves them a ton of money, ton of time, and they're able to stay where they're at. Now that means I don't get paid anything. Neither do you.
No, but we did the best for the client, and that's the most important thing.
Right, and we could make a huge difference in their life with that valuable service.
When I do a loan for somebody, I'm always saying, well, what would be best for them? You know, if I'm going to put my feet in their shoes for a second and see what would be best for them.
Yeah.
Because it's not what I want, it's what they need or what they want.
Right.
It's their goals that we have to address. You know, we can look at every situation that's different, and we can optimize, you know, the differences, and because everybody has lots of different needs, and there's, you know, in the loan process, there's a lot of paperwork, and there's there's a lot of, you know, things that we need, and sometimes it's, you know, we have to dig up the Social Security awards letter, and we have to dig up, you know, retirement stuff, and we can help through that process because
Or VA paperwork.
and you know, entitlements, and
Right.
those things are hard to, you know, to dig up and find and know what we're looking for, because people often don't know, you know, the names of these forms, and we can help them with that, and that's something we really pride ourselves is really helping make it a smooth process and be able to, you know, sit down and help them find, you know, their Social Security awards letter or their VA disability letter, and find their retirement statements, and so they can, you know, make sure they can get through the process, and it's not, you know, one shoe fits all.